Break Go edition of our eSports Breakdown at FSI, Fantasy Sports Insight. If you have not gotten a chance to see the Call of Duty video that we had just uploaded for Friday's slate, take a look at that. Our head eSports guy, Eddie, comes on and kind of breaks down team by team. There is some potential roster changes from actually when we recorded until Friday, so be sure to check in our free Discord channel for updates and core plays. And if you don't know what a core play is, I mean, we basically for all of our slates, for example, if there's a showdown or a six-man slate, we're usually giving out 3 of our plays to build around, typically a cash and a GPV option. So just so you know, if you're thinking about what is a core play and why would I join your Discord channel for free, what am I looking to get? So let's get into this slate. We have another 3-game DreamHack slate. Finally back to our best of 3s, which I prefer. Let's go over the odds first. We have Astralis and NIP. Astralis is actually the underdog here. And I think for those of you that have been watching, they're just not the same team without Glaive and Zipic. So I think NIP being favored here is not really that surprising. But for those of you that are used to just like locking in device, I think I would probably suggest not doing that tomorrow in cash games. GPP, I think he's going to be pretty low owned for the leverage that you're going to get, but I would not plug and play for cash at all with device. G2 and Navi. Navi coming in as the -160 favorite, and that just kind of tells you what Simple brings to the team and what the odds makers consider when they're making lines like this. I mean, I think we all know that an overall better player pool and talent is on the G2 side, but there's one player named Simple that definitely carries the load for Navi and will probably be my first cash play in my lineup. And then we have FaZe against BIG. They come in, FaZe comes in as the biggest favorite on the slate, and that's not really surprising just based on the matchup here. I think it's definitely warranted. So let's kind of just dig in. Let's go to the Astralis and NIP game first. Let's look on the NIP side. All pretty reasonably priced considering they're a favorite here. I do like Plopsky and Knock the best, probably Plopsky for the $400 discount. Rez is definitely viable and has been decent lately, but I think for 200 or more, I'd much rather get to Plopsky. Twist and Hampus is somebody I'm not even considering, even as a punting option. Twist just is kind of like moved up as not being the worst player on the team anymore, just because Hampus is there. Where normally when Lekro was there, he was by far the worst player on the team. So let's go to Astralis. We have Snappy at 4K. If you want to be snappy and take Snappy for 4K, go ahead, but I am probably passing there. Even though it doesn't really take a lot to get to value, like if you want 10x there, it's pretty easy to get to 40 points, even in a losing effort. But your upside is definitely limited. So you have Yugi at 4.8, and then you jump all the way. The top 3 are above 8.5K. So it's going to be really tough with FaZe and with Simple to really consider these 3 in cash games. But I do think this 3-man stack in GPPs is definitely viable. If you can find a cheaper pair, a 3-man stack or a 2-1 or something that you really like. But man, device being more expensive than Simple and Nico here is pretty shocking to me. But again, if we go to the Navi G2 game, Navi at Simple at 9,200 is just a clear lock to me. I don't even know why you would consider not playing him in any format. And part of the reason that it's a little bit frustrating as a DFS player that DK is not actually making people decide if they should play Simple or not. Put him at 10,000, put him at 10,200, and then people are actually having to make a decision on their lineup because that's a big difference in salary. We saw even Zayu today being, 98% owned in the $25 cash game, double up. So it's just we want to see more players have to make decisions on that. Typically for Navi, I don't really consider anybody except for Simple and Electronic is really I'm only considering when I think the matchup is really favorable. Here, I don't really think the matchup is that favorable against G2. I think they are just, are simple. That's all they got really that I like. But I do love the prices here for G2. Seem extremely underpriced. Kenny S at 7,200. I love the price tag. Hunter at 7,200. The upside on these three, Nexa at 6,800. The upside of these three players are takedown material. So I think you could definitely pair those three with like about any team because of how cheap that stack is. So I love the G2 side. This might be a case where I play 2G2 and Simple. Simple is similar to Zywoo, where it's okay to just one off with him and then still play a couple guys from the other side, just because Navi similar to Vitality, that the rest of the team has a negative kill to death ratio just due to the fact of so much of the market kills is being taken up by one player. So love these three. These are three of the best point per dollar plays on the slate, even as an underdog. Let's look on the FaZe side here. FaZe is obviously where I'll be looking, and they are extremely cheap for the matchup too. I think coldzera might be one of the most popular plays on the slate, along with Proki at 7,800. But I'd like to see both of them priced over 8K. Even Nico at 9,000 here in this matchup is pretty reasonable. Obviously, you're going to have to make some decisions. I think in cash, likely people will start with the three top FaZe, or at least two of the FaZe players plus Simple, and then fill in from there. So I think there's a lot of different ways you can go. Bemis, even at 5,800. Now, here is the spot I think punting down there is viable because I think the 2-0 sweep is likely, but I don't think it's necessary to go that route. On BIG, it's kind of crazy that Tabson's priced more than Searson. Searson on the AWP is phenomenal. He's just kind of stuck on a team that doesn't have a lot of talent around him. Tabson has had a really hot run. I think that was DreamHack when he was doing that, playing really well. And Zenartes is decent, but if I'm going to consider somebody from BIG in a GPP or something, Searson is the one that I would consider, and then maybe pairing him up with Tabson if you want to be really contrarian. So again, if you just kind of a cash game pool starting point, I think depending on if you're playing, if you're going to play Nico or not, and if you even want to add Nico in here, it's pretty reasonable still. Even if you say we put Simple at captain, now that does make it a little bit more difficult. Then you probably do have to punt with somebody like Bemis instead of using one of these top players. But if you do want to consider using like coldzera at captain, then you're looking at not punting as cheap or going down as low. So I think the decision people are going to have to make is if you're going to play Simple and Nico, then how far are you willing to go down to punt? If you punt, you can't punt with Bemis because you already have three FaZe. You could punt with Hampus, but I don't really think they have a good chance of 2-0ing here. And you aren't getting enough salary just to plug in two G2 players like Nexa and Kenny S or Hunter. So I do think there's going to have to be some decisions made in cash, but I think that will be likely the way that most sharp players will be building is with at least two FaZe, Simple, and then kind of deciding Nico or Bemis. Because if you go Bemis instead of Nico, then it does open up to play Hunter and maybe Hunter and Kenny S, while also getting someone like Simple or Brokey at your captain spot. So that is kind of where I'm at today. Be sure to like our page, subscribe, join our Discord channel by going to fsidfs.com. Super easy. Reach out to me on Twitter. I can help you get set up. We have free plays for every esports. League of Legends is starting up now too, so that's been really fun to get into that mix. And then as these major sports come up, soccer is going every single day almost. Gator's providing some of the best soccer content in the industry. So make sure you get signed up, and we hope to see you in our Discord channel. Thanks a lot.